I'm Grace. I'm 21, and I'm a nursing student. I've always been the responsible one, the one who never asked for much, the one who just kept her head down. I'm sitting in our living room, the air already feeling tight. My parents, Janet and Robert, call a family meeting. My mom, Janet, drops the first piece of news. My Aunt Isabel, my godmother, she passed away, and she left me $25,000. I can't even process the grief. My throat closes. $25,000. That's nursing school. That's everything. Before I can even say thank you or I miss her, my dad, Robert, speaks. His voice is flat. We've decided you'll be giving that money to your brother, Evan. My head snaps up. What? They want my inheritance. Not for my future, which Aunt Isabel specified in her will, but for Evan's past. For his student loans from that useless degree they pushed him to get. I find my voice, small as it is. No. Aunt Isabel wanted it for my school. My mother's face hardens. The warmth vanishes. Her voice cuts. You are being selfish and ungrateful. The air goes thin. My own parents. My own family. They just tried to steal my inheritance. How far would they go to get it? If you've ever been the family scapegoat, you know this exact feeling. My Aunt Isabel. She wasn't just my aunt. She was my godmother. And in our family, that word meant something more. She was my safe harbor. She was, I think, the only person in that entire house who ever truly saw me. I can still smell her visits. It was this faint scent of lavender and, underneath that, strong, black coffee. She'd pull up, and I'd hear the click of her sensible heels on the walkway, and for a few hours, I knew I could breathe. I have this one, vivid memory. It was just after Evan, my brother, had won some debate tournament. My parents, Janet and Robert, were just insufferable. They were fawning all over him in the living room, hanging his new trophy on the mantel, which was already crowded with his stuff. Oh, Robert, he's just brilliant. He's going to be a CEO. He gets it from me, my dad would say, puffing out his chest. Evan just soaked it up. He always did. I was in the corner, finishing homework, nursing school prep, anatomy. I was invisible. But Aunt Isabel saw. She watched the whole performance with this quiet, tight smile. She caught my eye, and she gave me this tiny, conspiratorial wink. Later, she found me in the kitchen. She put her warm hands on my shoulders and looked me right in the eye. Her gaze was so steady. I see how hard you're working, Grace, she said, her voice low. I see you saving every penny from that diner job for your textbooks, while they're occupied. She squeezed my shoulders. Don't you ever let them dim your light. I will make sure you get to your nursing program. I promise you. No matter what. When she died last month, it was like the one light in the house went out. I didn't just lose my aunt. I lost my only advocate. So when the call came about the $25,000, it wasn't like winning the lottery. It wasn't just found money. It was her. It was her, keeping her last promise. That money wasn't just paper. It was sacred. It was her faith in me, made tangible. And my parents, they want me to give it to Evan. Evan. The golden child. Let me tell you about Evan. When he graduated with his history degree, that useless degree they now complain about, but pushed him to get my parents through a party that cost thousands. Catering. A banner that spanned the entire length of the house. They co-signed for his brand new car. They co-signed for all his student loans. They built his life for him, brick by brick. My high school graduation? Oh, Grace, we'll just go out to dinner. Evan has exams this week. We can't make a big fuss. When I needed a car for my job and my clinicals? Well, you'd better start saving, hadn't you? The message, sent every single day of my 21 years, was crystal clear. Evan's wants are emergencies. My needs are inconveniences. And now, they expected me to take the one thing I had ever been given, the one promise that was ever kept for me, and hand it over, just like everything else. I have a copy of the will. It's not just a digital file. I have the physical papers. I keep them in my top drawer, tucked inside my anatomy textbook. I've read the key paragraph maybe a dozen times. The paper is thick, slightly embossed. The language is not emotional. It's cold, hard, and legal. It's iron. To my goddaughter, Grace, the sum of $25,000 to be used exclusively for her education and professional certification. Exclusively. For her education. It was Aunt Isabel's final word. It was her final act of protection. When I first told my parents about the inheritance, just a day after I got the call, I was so naive. I was still in the fog of grief, but also hopeful. I thought, this is it. This is the one time they'll have to be happy for me. This is proof. How stupid I was. I told them in the kitchen. My mother, Janet, was at the counter, chopping onions. The thwack, thwack, thwack of the knife stopped. My father, Robert, was at the table, reading the paper. He lowered it just an inch. I saw the flicker in their eyes. It wasn't happiness. It was calculation. 25,000, my mother repeated, her voice flat. The knife didn't move. That's when they called the intervention. We're in the living room. The TV is on, but muted. Just flashing images, no sound. It makes the room feel even more tense. My father is in his recliner, his throne. My mother is perched on the edge of the sofa, hands clasped so tightly her knuckles are white. And Evan, my brother, is on the armchair, slouched, staring at his phone. Just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. The blue light illuminates his face. He won't look at me. He knows what this is, and he's letting them do it for him. He's a 2-3-year-old man, and he's letting his parents fight his battles and steal from his sister. Grace, my father starts, using his "this is final" voice. We've discussed it, the money. You're giving it to Evan. My hands are shaking. I pull the folded copy of the will from my pocket. I can't, I whisper. It says, Aunt Isabel specified. I try to show them the paper. My father, Robert, doesn't even look at it. He just waves his hand. A short, chopping motion. A gesture of pure dismissal, like I'm a child. Like the will is a piece of trash. We don't care what it says, he snaps. Your brother deserves it more. Deserves. That word hits me like a physical slap. Deserves it? Based on what? Because he was born first? Because he's the son? Because his failures are somehow more important than my ambitions? My mother leans forward. Here comes her part. The emotional blackmail. Grace, honey, be reasonable, she says, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. His student loans are crippling. We're suffocating under them. Why should he suffer for one mistake when you're just sitting on all this money? Sitting on it. As if it's not for my tuition. As if it's not for my scrubs, my textbooks, my certification exams. As if my entire future as a nurse is just a luxury, a hobby. That's when it hits me. The full, crushing weight of it. They are asking me to sacrifice my entire future for his useless degree, a degree they pushed him to get, a mistake they funded. They are violating a dead woman's wish. My aunt, her goddaughter. They are looking at their 1-year-old daughter, who has worked for everything she has, and telling her to set herself on fire to keep their golden child warm. This isn't new. This is just louder. This has been the pattern of my entire life. Evan's needs are sirens, loud and demanding. My needs are whispers. Easy to ignore. I remember last year, my laptop, a 6-year-old refurbished model I bought myself, finally died. Sparks. A smell of burnt plastic. It happened right during midterms. I was desperate. I was working 20 hours a week at the diner, on top of my prerequisites, and I had nothing left. I finally worked up the courage to ask my parents for help. Not for a new one, just a loan. To get it fixed. My father didn't even look up from his phone. Figure it out, Grace. Builds character. 2 weeks later, Evan's Xbox broke. He threw a fit, sulked for an entire afternoon. That same day, my father took him to Best Buy and bought him the brand new model. The boy needs to unwind, he'd said, clapping Evan on the shoulder. My laptop? I ended up writing 3 papers by hand and spending hours in the crowded, fluorescent-lit campus library until my next paycheck came through. I figured it out. So now, as I stand in the living room, clutching the will, my silence is my answer. I am not saying yes. And in this family, anything less than immediate, cheerful compliance is an act of war. My mother, Janet, stands up. Her face is a mask of disappointment. It's a look she has perfected. It's the one that used to make me crumble. I just can't believe you, she says, her voice layered with manufactured hurt. After everything we've done for you, you are being so selfish, so ungrateful. Selfish, ungrateful. There they are. The two words they've used to keep me in line since I was old enough to have an opinion. They are the twin levers of guilt and shame, and my parents pull them with practiced ease. They are designed to make me feel small, to make me doubt my own mind. And for a second, a terrible, dizzying second, it works. A wave of static fills my head. Am I selfish? Is this ungrateful? They gave me a home. They fed me. Isn't this what families do? Help each other? My brother is in trouble. Maybe I am the bad guy here. I look at the will in my hand, the paper trembling, exclusively for her education. Then I look at my father, his face set in stone. I look at my mother, her eyes cold with judgment. I look at Evan, who is still just staring at his phone, refusing to even be a participant in his own shakedown. No, this isn't help, this is theft. This is gaslighting. They are trying to rewrite reality. They are trying to tell me that a legal, binding document, a last will and testament, is just a suggestion, that my aunt's final, specific wish is irrelevant, that my future, the one I am fighting tooth and nail to build, is secondary to my brother's past mistakes. They are trying to make me the villain for wanting what is legally and morally mine. This is the moment I say it, just a whisper. I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I the only one who sees this? Am I selfish for wanting to honor my aunt's dying wish? Is it wrong to want to be a nurse? To not want to be buried in debt before I even start? And as I look at their three faces, united against me, the fog clears. The static is gone. It's replaced by a cold, sharp, terrifying clarity. I'm not crazy. They are. And I finally realize. They don't see me. They don't see Grace. They don't see their daughter, their sister. They see an ATM. They see a $25,000 solution to their golden child's problem. And I am just the inconvenient meat sack wrapped around the money. The intervention is over. I grab the will and walk out of the room. I don't run. I walk. I feel their eyes burning into my back. I didn't say yes. And I know, with chilling certainty, that this is far from over. The next 2 days are a masterclass in psychological warfare. The house, which was never warm, becomes actively cold. The temperature drops 20 degrees whenever I enter a room. It's the silence. It's heavy, thick, and suffocating. My parents communicate with each other, but not to me. I'm a ghost. Or, worse, a piece of furniture they're angry at. My mother, Janet, makes dinner. I'll hear the clanging of pots, the smell of garlic and roasting chicken filling the house. I'll come to the table, and there will be 3 plates. One for her, one for my father, one for Evan. She'll look at me, her eyes flat and empty, and say, "Oh, I didn't realize you were eating with us tonight. I didn't make enough." My father, Robert, finds other, pettier ways. He'll accidentally block my car in the driveway with his truck, making me late for my clinicals. When I have to knock on his study door and ask him to move it, he'll take a full 5 minutes, sighing heavily, as if I am the world's biggest inconvenience. Evan just disappears. He stays out late, or locks himself in his room, the muffled sound of his video games bleeding under the door. He's the one who needs the $25,000, but he won't even do me the courtesy of asking for it himself. The arguments don't stop, they just change shape. They become ambushes. I'll be in my room, my textbook open, trying to memorize the cranial nerves. My mother will just appear in the doorway. No knock. "Your brother's loan statement came," she'll say. "The interest is it's astronomical." I keep my eyes on my book. I've learned this is the only way. Don't engage, don't show emotion. "No," I say. "The will is clear." That's my only line. My mantra, a shield made of paper. "No, the will is clear." Selfish, she'll hiss and walk away. My silence is making them furious. My calm refusal to be baited, my absolute no. They've never encountered it before. I was always the one who would bend. I was the one who would apologize just to make the yelling stop. I am not bending. Not this time. This is Aunt Isabel's line in the sand. And then, my mother realizes her passive aggression isn't working, so she tries a direct assault. It's Thursday night, one day before her deadline. I'm in the kitchen, finally trying to make myself food, just a sandwich. The fluorescent light hums, making the clean counters look sterile, almost like a hospital. My mother walks in. She stands between me and the refrigerator, blocking my path. She's not yelling. That's what's so terrifying. She's calm, her voice is low. I'm only going to say this one more time, Grace. If you are not going to be part of this family, if you are going to put yourself above your brother, above us, then you are not going to live in this house. I stop breathing. I clutch the counter. The formica is cool against my sweaty palms. Here it is. You have until tomorrow, she says, her eyes like two chips of ice. You will transfer that money to Evan's loan account by 5 p.m., or you will be kicked out. I just stare at her. The word, kicked out. It echoes in the silent kitchen. Kicked out. This is my mother, threatening me with homelessness. I am 21. I am a nursing student. I have a part-time diner job. They know my finances to the penny. They know I can't afford an apartment on my own. Not while I'm in school. This isn't tough love. This isn't a lesson. A cold, sick feeling washes over me. This is extortion. They are using the roof over my head, my physical safety, my shelter, as leverage. They are holding my housing hostage to steal $25,000 from me. I look at this woman who gave birth to me. And I realize, with absolute, soul-crushing certainty, she means it. She would watch me pack my car and drive away. She would sleep just fine that night, knowing her daughter had nowhere to go. All for Evan. Okay, I whisper. I see a flicker of triumph in her eyes. She thinks she's won. But as I walk past her, I'm not thinking about the money. I'm not thinking about Evan. I'm thinking, this house is not a home, it's a trap. And I am not going to be here on Friday at 5 p.m. I lock my bedroom door. The click of the bolts sliding into place feels laughably small. A tiny piece of metal against the force of their will. My heart is hammering against my ribs so hard it hurts. I can feel the pulse in my throat, in my temples. I sink down onto my bed, my back against the wall. I feel trapped. I am trapped. I'm 21 years old. I'm a student. And my mother just gave me a 24-hour ultimatum. Commit financial suicide or become homeless. I wrap my arms around my knees, trying to make myself smaller. The house is silent again. That awful, heavy silence. I look around my room, the same flowered wallpaper I've had since I was 12. My nursing textbooks stacked on a desk I'd painted white. This is my whole life. And she's threatening to burn it down. I'm trying to think, what do I do? Who do I call? Then, I hear the footsteps. Slow, deliberate. They stop right outside my door. A knock. Not a polite rap, but a hard, solid thud, thud, thud with the flat of a fist. It's my mother, Janet. I don't want to answer. I don't want to hear her voice, but I know she won't leave. I unlock the door and open it, just a crack. I'm shaking. I can't stop it. You can't do this, I whisper. My voice is ragged, thick with tears I refuse to let fall. You can't just kick me out. I have nowhere to go. Her face is in the crack of the door. Her expression isn't angry anymore. It's worse. It's placid. It's the calm of someone who holds all the cards and knows it. Her voice is a sliver of ice. Oh, we can, Grace. We absolutely can. She pushes the door open a little wider. I don't move. And that's not all, she says, almost conversationally. That little car you're so proud of, the one you drive to your little job, to your classes? My blood doesn't just run cold. It stops. My car? That car is my life. It's my lifeline. It gets me to my clinicals at 5 a.m. It gets me to the diner for my shift. It's my legs. I saved for 2 years for the down payment. I bust my ass every week to make the $200 monthly payment. I pay the insurance. It is my car. But I was 19 when I bought it. I didn't have the credit. My father, Robert, co-signed the loan. I thought it was the one decent thing he'd ever done for me, a rare act of support. Now, I see it. It wasn't a gift, it was a chain. It was leverage, held in reserve. The loan is in your father's name too, Janet says, a faint, cold smile playing on her lips. He is the primary owner, legally speaking. You're just on it. She leans in. Her words are a venomous whisper. If you defy us, if you are not at that bank by 5 p.m. tomorrow, transferring that money, we will call the police, and we will report that car stolen. I feel the blood drain from my face. I think I might be sick. Report it. Stolen. They would do that. This isn't just a threat of homelessness anymore. This is a threat of arrest. This is a threat of a criminal record. They are willing to file a false police report. A crime. They are willing to have their own 2 one-year-old daughter arrested. All for Evan. A nursing student. A nursing student cannot have a criminal record. An arrest for car theft? Even if I could fight it, even if I could prove it was mine, the charge itself would be enough. I would be kicked out of my program. I would never get my license. My entire future, my career, my whole life, gone. They would ruin me. They would burn my entire life to the ground, salt the earth, and walk away, just to pay for Evan's mistake. This is the moment. The fog of family, of obligation, of selfishness. It doesn't just clear. It's vaporized. It's annihilated in the heat of their malice. I'm looking at my mother, and for the first time in my life, I am not seeing a mother. I'm seeing my executioner. My mother, Janet, is still standing in the doorway, a look of smug, absolute victory on her face. She thinks she's won. She thinks that threat, the false police report, my career, my entire future is her checkmate. I look at her, and something inside me doesn't just break. It sets. It hardens, like steel quenched in ice. The shaking stops. My hands, which were trembling just a second ago, are suddenly, perfectly still. I just nod. Once. Okay, I say. My voice is dead calm. I understand. I'll go to the bank tomorrow. Her smile is triumphant. She closes the door, and I hear her footsteps walking away, victorious. She is so stupid. She thinks she broke me. She has no idea what she just did. She just handed me the scissors. She just cut the very last thread of family that was holding me to them. The fog of obligation, the guilt, the shame I've been drowning in my entire life, it's gone. It's replaced by a pure, cold, clarifying rage. They would ruin me. Not they'd be angry, not they'd be disappointed. They would ruin me, an arrest, a criminal record. They would gleefully, consciously burn my entire life to the ground, the life I have clawed and scraped to build, all to pay for Evan's mistake. I am not safe here. These people are not my family. They are my enemies. And you don't plead with your enemies. You escape them. The intervention is over. My real plan begins. I don't sleep. I sit on my bed, fully dressed, and I wait. The house settles. I hear the TV drone on, then go silent. I hear the flush of toilets, the running of sinks. I hear my father's heavy footsteps go to his room. I hear my mother's door click shut. I wait 1 more hour. It's 2 a.m. The house is dark. It's so quiet I can hear the hum of the refrigerator downstairs. Showtime. Slowly, carefully, I turn my doorknob. I pull it, millimeter by millimeter, so the latch doesn't click. I open the door. The hallway is black, save for the tiny green nightlight by the bathroom. I move. No shoes. My bare feet are silent on the carpet. First, my mother's purse. It's on the kitchen counter, where she always leaves it. My hands are shaking again, but with adrenaline, not fear. I slide my fingers in. Keys, wallet, there, my car keys. I slip them into my pocket. Next, the desk drawer in the living room. This is the one. This is everything. I pull the handle. The old wood scrapes. I freeze. I don't breathe. I listen. Nothing. Just the fridge. I pull it open the rest of the way. I fish past old receipts, rubber bands, dead batteries. My fingers hit the plastic sleeve. I pull it out. My passport, my birth certificate, my social security card. I go to my room. I grab my anatomy textbook. I pull out the will, Aunt Isabel's promise. I slip all of it, my identity, my future, my inheritance into my backpack, along with my laptop and a change of clothes. I go back to the kitchen. I take one of my mother's blank checks from her checkbook. I won't use it, but I want her to know I could have. I walk to the front door, slide the deadbolt back, and I am out. The air outside is cold. It's the first clean breath I've taken in days. I don't park my car in my usual spot. I'm not stupid. I'd parked it 3 streets over that afternoon. I walk, my backpack heavy, and I get in. I lock the doors. I sit there, in the dark, my documents in my bag, my keys in the ignition. I've done it. I've escaped. The next morning, I am not at their bank. I am at a completely new bank, a community credit union they have no connection to, clear across town. I sit in front of a very kind woman named Linda. I show her the will. I show her the check for $25,000 from my aunt's estate. I need to open a new, private account, I say, with a new debit card, and I need to know that no one besides me can ever access this. I transfer the entire $25,000 into it. I set up new passwords, new security questions. The money is safe. It is secure. It is mine. I walk out of that bank, my new debit card in my wallet. The sun is up. It's Friday. It's 10 a.m. I sit in my car, my documents, my money. I have one more thing to do. I take out my phone. I Google family law attorney near me. I dial the first number. Yes, I say, my voice clear and strong. I need to schedule a consultation. It's about inheritance theft and extortion. My consultation is at 2 p.m. The lawyer's office is on the 8th floor of a boring glass building. The quiet is profound. Thick carpet, wood-paneled walls, the soft click-clack of a keyboard from a receptionist. It smells like paper and faint, expensive air freshener. It is the safest I have felt in my entire life. Her name is Miss Davies. She's in her 50s, sharp, with kind eyes that don't miss a thing. She doesn't interrupt me once. I lay it all out. The will, the $25,000, my golden child brother, Evan, the escalating demands. Then I get to the threats. My mother, Janet, told me I had until 5 p.m. today to transfer the money, or I'd be kicked out. Miss Davies nods, her pen moving. That's coercion. Potentially a wrongful eviction, but it's a gray area since you're an adult child without a lease. But the threat itself, linked to a financial demand? That's the key. Go on. I take a deep breath. This is the one. Then, she threatened my car. I make the payments, but my father co-signed. She said if I didn't transfer the money, they would. They would report it stolen. To the police. I'm bracing for her to, I don't know, to tell me it's complicated, to say they have a right. Miss Davies stops writing. She puts her pen down. She looks at me, and her kind eyes have turned to steel. Miss Grace? She says, her voice suddenly sharp and angry, but not at me. She's angry for me. Let me be perfectly, unequivocally clear. Threatening to make a false police report in order to obtain $25,000 from you is not a family dispute. That is textbook extortion. It is a crime. Filing that false report? Also a crime. I didn't realize I was holding my breath until it comes out in a massive, shuddering gasp. I feel the tears I've been holding back for days, the tears I refuse to let them see suddenly sting my eyes. Extortion. A crime. I wasn't being selfish. I wasn't ungrateful. I wasn't crazy. I was a victim. So, what do I do? I whisper. They think I'm at the bank right now. First, she says, you breathe. The $25,000 is in your new, private account. Good. It is legally, untouchably yours. Your aunt's will is ironclad. But the car, I say, my voice trembling. They can still take it, can't they? They can ruin me. This is the moment of truth. She smiles. It's a thin, sharp, dangerous smile. No, she says, they can't. You have possession of the vehicle. You have a history of making the payments. If they report it stolen, knowing full well it is not, you will be the one filing a police report for filing a false report. And I, she taps her desk, will be the one contacting the district attorney on your behalf. We will also be forwarding a copy of that report to your father's auto loan provider, informing them that their cosigner is committing fraud. Their credit will be incinerated. The knot in my chest. The one that's been there for 21 years. The one that tightens every time they walk into a room. It doesn't just loosen. It vanishes. The air rushes into my lungs. It's the first real, deep, clean breath of my adult life. The fear is just gone. She just handed me a shield and a sword. I am safe. I am armed. Now, Miss Davies says, leaning forward, here is what you are going to do. You are not going back to that house, ever. You are going to take a portion of that inheritance, which is exactly what your aunt intended it for, and you are going to secure your housing. Today, right now. Find a dorm, a room to rent, a small apartment near your campus. Pay the deposit. That money is not just for tuition, it's for your life. It's your liberation fund. Your Aunt Isabel wanted you to be a nurse. She didn't want you to be a hostage. This is what a parent is supposed to sound like. This is what family is. It's not a blood-soaked trap. It's an ironclad plan for your safety. I walk out of that office an hour later, my head held high. I feel light. I feel powerful. I do exactly what she said. I go straight to the leasing office of an apartment complex 2 blocks from the hospital where I do my clinicals. It's small. It's a studio. It smells like new paint and old carpet. It is the most beautiful place I have ever seen. I use my new debit card. I pay the security deposit and the first month's rent. The woman hands me a set of keys. Keys that are mine. I drive my car to the apartment's parking garage. I park in my new, assigned spot. I walk up to my new door. I put my key in the lock. I step inside. I close the door. I turn the deadbolt. Click. I am home. I am safe. I sit on the floor of my empty apartment, my backpack in my lap. It's 4:45 p.m. 15 minutes until their deadline. I take out my phone. I have 4 missed calls. 32 texts. All from Janet and Robert. Where are you? You'd better be at that bank. Grace? I am not kidding. Pick up. Now. I open a new text message. I type one final message. I send it to both of them. Per my lawyer's advice, I will no longer be in contact. The inheritance is secure in a new account. Any attempt to contact me, or to file a false police report regarding my car, will be met with immediate legal action for extortion and coercion. I read it one more time. It's perfect. Then, I do the last thing. I tap block number, block. I tap the next one, block. I turn my phone off. I sit in the silence of my own apartment. I am 21 years old. I am free. I have $25,000 in the bank, a roof over my head, and a car that is mine. Tomorrow, I will buy a new pillow. The next day, I will buy my textbooks for the next semester. I am going to be a nurse. Aunt Isabel kept her promise. Never let anyone, not even the people who are supposed to love you, extinguish your future. You are not their property. You are not their ATM. Your life is yours. If you are finally ready to break your own chains and choose yourself, subscribe for more stories of liberation.